Hey everybody, it's Michael Pedone with SalesBuzz.com, and today I want to go over this email that I received from HubSpot here. The title was very catchy, Your Six-Step Action Plan When You're Getting Zero Sales. And I've been a straight commission sales rep my entire adult working life. It's been over 25 years, selling by phone, things of that nature. And especially early on, something like that type of headline would have really resonated. So, hey, I was interested in seeing what the six-step action plan was. So I click on over it and I see it's written by Dan. Dan writes, he's a very talented writer as far as these sales things go. And so I started reading, and he accurately, brings out the pain points and things of that nature. So he really hooks you in there. So when we get down to the six steps, and I reviewed him, that's where I was like, okay, I could see where some of this would help, but I could also see that there are definitely other options if you're struggling in sales besides these. Sure, these are all valid, right? But if you're in that sale, I don't know if Dan has ever picked up the phone to sell anything, right? I know he's a very talented copywriter. With that being said, I've been in the shoes of somebody that's been struggling, and you're starting to panic, especially if you're at a new job or whatever, and you're not closing, or maybe you've been there for a while and you've had some peaks, right? And this is more along what I would experience a long time. You have some peaks, and you start to fade a little bit, and you're struggling, not sure why, and you start changing all these things, and then you're just like a hay ball of wire, right? Everything's all messed up, and you're still struggling. Either way, whether it's you've had some success and now you're not, or you're struggling right out of the gate, the pressure can mount, especially if you're a straight commission sales rep like I've always been. But even if you have a salary position plus commission, that's still stressful because they're not going to pay you forever if you're not producing, right? So the pressure could really mount. And so when I saw that the title was six-step strategy for that, obviously let me see what it is. And if you read this, sure, again, like I said, some of these things are valid. I'm not sure they change anything right out of the gate, right? So in believing yourself, sure, okay, review your goals, right? Okay, sure. There's your mindset, do the little things. Okay, what are the little things? So there's a couple of things here that are really general that sure have some merit, but I think I have some things that if you're in this position, you're struggling, that you could really put to practice right away and get immediate results. And so it's real simple. Okay, so let's start with this here. The first one is this is confirm that you know your ICP. Okay, so what does that mean? You have to confirm that you actually know what your ICP is. As a matter of fact, if I just do this, if you don't know what an ICP is, okay. Da, 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 da. Okay, how to create your ideal customer profile in 10 minutes. So yeah, so like I have a blog post here, how to create your ideal customer profile. So your ICP it stands for ideal customer profile. I want you to be able to confirm to your manager or to yourself, whatever, but yeah, get to your manager and confirm that you know who your target audience is and what the ideal customer profile is. Because a lot of times what I have found, if a sales rep is struggling, they don't know, and sometimes they're going too wide and not deep. And what I mean by that is they're going after anybody and everybody rather than honing in and focusing on the prospects that are going to give them the best chance of success, if that makes any sense. Okay, so you need to confirm that you, the sales rep, do you really know who your ideal customer profile is, and narrow it down to the best of the best. So example, let me give you an example. I have clients from 3M all the way down to individuals, okay? And so the 3M worldwide, over 10,000 employees, down to a single person. With that being said, if somebody says, hey, what's your ideal customer profile? I'm going to say they're in the United States, even though I do worldwide, but the majority are going to be in the US. They're going to have anywhere from 50 to 500 employees. And if I even want to go even narrower, I'll say between 50 and 200. But the majority of the ones that buy from me have anywhere between 50 to 500 employees, and their industry is computer software related. That's getting very narrow. So if I log into my database and I have 1,000 prospects there, I filter and I need to have the best chance of success. I know, well, hey, let me start with the ones that buy the most from me. So let me filter it by employee size, location, an industry, just as an example. And then I also know that the people I need to speak to are going to have either, if it's on the smaller side, if they're more like the 50 employees, I'm almost always speaking to the owner. But if it's more than that, it's a the director of sales, VP of sales, business development, VP, right? Something in that area. I know that those are the people that's me knowing who my ICP is. I need you, if you're struggling with sales, to confirm that you know who your ICP is. All right, so that's the first step. That's something you can take immediate action on. The next thing is confirm your lead list matches your ICP. Okay, so go in there now that you've confirmed, or if you had some misunderstandings, maybe you didn't even know what an ICP was before this video, but now you know. Now you have to make sure your lead list matches your ICP that you have. You're only focusing on leads that match that. Okay, so that's the second step. And third step is very simple. Again, confirm you know the pain points. What problems would they have to have? Whether they recognize the problem or not before you call is not what we're talking about. What I'm asking you to do is this: confirm that you know what problems they would have to have in order for them to be interested in what you offer. Okay. I'm going to give you an off-topic example here. If you just bought a brand new car yesterday, and then you get a call from a dealership today wanting to know if you want to buy a car, there's no pain point. You just bought one, right? Definitely no problem there. Okay. You have to know what pain points would your prospect have to have in order for them to be interested. If there's no problem for you to solve, there's no need for your solution. So I only bring up that car example to try to get you to see that, hey, if I just bought one, I don't need another one. I don't want 2 car payments just for myself, right? So that means if you look at it from that, and I'm just using it as an analogy, when you're contacting your prospects, you have to know what pain points would they have to have. Sure, they can meet your ICP, but not have that pain point. Now, how do now to find out when you get them on the phone if that pain point exists, that's a whole different, scenario. That's where your sales steps come in and your sales techniques, right? In order to get problem recognition, you first have to get a sales conversation started. Well, how do you get a sales conversation started? Well, you have to pique their interest in the first 5 to 15 seconds after you say, hello, my name is. Well, how do you do that? Well, you have to have the right opening value statement, okay? Well, how do you do that? If you don't know how to do that, just go to our website, SalesBuzz.com. Let me just show you. And you can take a free course. It'll show you how to do that. And actually, I think it's just on pricing here. It'd be the fastest way, right? So if you just go right here, right, you'll take the first course for free, and you'll see how to go ahead and build your ideal customer. I'm sorry, how to build your opening value statement. You'll be able to take that for free, okay? And that's how you. So you start with once you have your list, you have to know what to say to build to get them to open up and have a conversation. And then you get to the pain point, okay? But you have to know what pain points that they have. And then, once you get the conversation going, you have to know what questions to ask to uncover if that pain point exists. But if you, as a sales rep, don't even know what pain points they would have to have in order for them to be interested, that's another reason why you're not selling. Because again, the whole point of selling is solving and helping. That's the whole benefit. That's the whole premise of selling is you want to help solve problems. And a lot of times your prospects might not know that they have a problem. That's why once you get the sales conversation started with prospects that meet your ICP, you need to be a salesperson and know how to ask questions to get them to recognize and see if they have a problem or not. Okay. Next, but if you don't know what those pain points are, how are you going to sell? Then you're just like you're just pushing your product or your service, and it's falling on deaf ears. Okay, it's the sales process and the sales techniques that might be causing you a problem as well. But these are the basics to find out first. So confirm that you know the pain points. Next, review your output. I cannot stress this enough. Skill plus output equals results. Skill plus output equals results. If you have everything on this checklist, the first 3, knocked out, and those are solid. And let's say you have all the sales skills in the world, you're top notch as far as it goes. But if you're not doing enough output, you're not going to get the results. On the flip side, if you have the first 3 on the checklist that we just went over covered, and you're doing maximum amount of output, but you don't have the skill. I mean, sure, you'll get a deal once in a while because it's that old analogy that, even a broken clock is right twice a day, right? But if you want to increase that, you have to have your skill level up. But if your output level is low, then you're going to be in trouble. And if you need to know how many dials a day you should be doing, just do a quick Google search on do SalesBuzz, how many dials a day should I be doing a day, and then you'll be able to find a blog post that'll cover that and explain why. All right. The next thing is this: record your calls. This is absolutely imperative, because you can think you're saying what you need to be saying and saying it the right way, but until you record your calls and then have somebody skilled enough to listen and be able to critique what you're actually saying, you won't know for sure. So this is critical. And most salespeople are going to be afraid to record their calls because they don't want to be exposed. Listen, step out of that comfort circle, get exposed, because that's where the growth and the learning is. Learn from your mistakes. The fastest way you can get better at selling is by recording your calls and then listening back, and then having somebody with that has already achieved the level of success that you're after in your industry, or just in general, somebody that knows how to sell, and have them listen to your calls and critique them. All right. The last thing is this: you should be role playing every day for 10 to 20 minutes. Every major professional sport and athlete, before the game starts, they always do warm-ups before the game. Sales should be no different. And the only reason here's the thing: the only thing salespeople hate more than cold calling is role playing in front of their peers. But iron sharpens iron. Don't don't be afraid to be exposed or to fail in front of your peers. As a matter of fact, turn that fear into fuel, so that it motivates you to get better, so you don't flub it or you sound like an idiot when you're role playing. And if you do, own it, get better, and come back the next day stronger. And before you know it, you'll go from last place to first place. Okay. I hope that this makes sense, and I hope these 6 steps actually help out. All right. Take care.